Hi guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to go ahead and do my end of the year book haul, and I did not realize how many books I have gotten since my last book haul, which was my fall book haul, and we will try to get through these as quickly as possible, so I won't bother trying to go too far in depth about the synopsis on any of these because, to be fair, I don't really remember the synopsis on a lot of these. But we will go ahead and get started with my Illuminati Crate purchases because those are what I am most excited about. And these first couple of books that I want to talk about, I don't really remember seeing too many people talk about these books specifically from Illuminati Crate. And the books that I am talking about are the duology for Raybearer. So we have Raybearer by the author Jordan Ifueko, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So first one is Raybearer, and then the second one is Redemptor, and this is a young adult fantasy about a young girl that is coming of age, and she's trying to be chosen for this group of 11, and I think she's tasked with trying to kill a prince. That's all I got from that. That's all I remember. But the reason why I wanted these is because of how gorgeous these editions are. And so for Raybearer, we have the sprayed edges from red to yellow, and then when you open it up on the hardcover, we have this beautiful red and gold. And then for Redemptor, we have the purple and blue sprayed edges. And then when you open this one up, we have the purple and silver. Now with Illuminati Crate boxes, you do also get like other items beside the books. I don't remember what I did with my other items for these books, so I unfortunately will not be able to share those, but I will be able to share the ones that I got from my other books from Illuminati Crates. But for these books specifically, I have heard really good things about Raybearer. I've heard mixed things about Redemptor, so I'm curious to see what I will think about this duology overall, but either way, I'm excited to have these on my shelves. So these next books everybody has been talking about, and these would be the Greenbone Saga books by Miss Fonda Lee herself. And so the first one that we have is Jade City. And so I don't really know like what the material this is made out of, but these are gorgeous. And then they have the detailing on the side, and then there's a quote on the back. I don't know if you can see that well because of my light, but on the back it says, "On my honor." And then each of these books are actually signed by Miss Fonda Lee herself. Again, this is Jade City. Then we have Jade War, again with the detailing on the side. And then we have the quote on the back. And this one says, "On my life." There's no way that I'll be able to hold all three of these up. And then this last chunky one is Jade Legacy. The detailing on the back or on the side. And then the quote on the back says, "On my Jade." And these are freaking gorgeous. So far, I've only read Jade City, and I freaking loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I am anxious to continue on with the series. That is how I'm going to be starting off my year, is trying to binge the rest of the series. But like I said, with the Illuminati Crate, you do get other items. And so the other things that came with the books are these bookmarks that has the different members of the main family within this series. If you read the series, you know. Then we have these enamel pins that came with the books. And then we also have these different little decorative plates that came with the books. This was honestly the best purchase that I've ever made when it came to books. So I don't know if I'm gonna buy anything else from Illuminati Crate anytime soon, but I must say I'm pleasantly surprised and very pleased with this purchase here. So the next books that I'm going to talk about are my recent book of the month picks. So we're going to go ahead and go through those as quickly as possible because some of these I have actually already read and I have videos up for, which I will link down below. And then one of them I'm actually currently reading, and then the other ones I haven't got to yet. So we'll go ahead and go through those as quickly as possible. And the first one here we have is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. And I recently put out a holiday romance recent reads video. So if you would like to check out my thoughts on this one, I will have that video linked down below. The next one that we have is Will by Will Smith, which is Will Smith's autobiography. I also did a recent video where I included this in my first episode of my nonfiction reads. So if you are interested in my thoughts about this one, I actually really like this one. So if you want to hear my thoughts, I will also leave that down in my description bar linked below. And here I just have the dust jacket for Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Freeney. And I am currently reading this for another video that I am currently working on. And I am, at this point, I think I'm almost halfway through and I'm feeling a little lukewarm. This is an adult mystery book. And I think I heard mixed things about this one. And right now have mixed feelings about it. So a video will be coming soon about my actual thoughts on this one. And then the rest of the books that I have here, I have not read yet. So I'll go ahead and list them off. So then the next one I have is The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. This is actually my first Lisa Jewell novel. And I decided to pick this one up because I saw Gabby over at Gabby Reads really enjoy this one. And this is, I believe, it is an adult mystery thriller. And it's told from like alternating timelines. And it's about a mother who is looking for her older missing daughter. I heard really good things about it, especially from Gabby. And so that's what made me want to pick this one up. The next one that I have is A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. And this is another one that I picked up. And I was actually interested in this one because I had another book that I read by this author that I really enjoyed. And I don't really remember much about this one besides it's about someone that goes missing out in the woods. And I know that it had to do with like a bit of magical realism. And then I also saw again that Gabby from Gabby Reads also really enjoyed this one. So I'm excited again to pick this one up. So then the next one that really intrigued me is The Collective by Allison Galen. So this is another adult mystery thriller novel about a mother who lost her daughter. And so she joins a band of mothers who goes out and does a lot of revenge killings, I believe. Yeah, that's what it says. So I'm really excited about this one, even though I've heard lukewarm reviews. So we'll see what I think about this one. The next one that I have is How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by K.M. Jackson. And this is a adult romance novel. I think it's like two friends on a road trip and something about Keanu Reeves. I haven't really heard anybody talk about this one. It sounded fun. I wanted a romance, so I decided to pick this one up. And then my last new pick that I got from Book of the Month, which is a older one, but one that I've always wanted to read, and I saw that they still had it available. And that is Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson. I still hear people from time to time talk about this one, and it basically talks about the caste system in America. I've actually heard kind of mixed reviews on this one. Well, not even really mixed reviews. Some people either really finds this one really good or they don't really think it's all that accurate. So I'm really interested to see where I fall on this one. So kind of curious to see what I will think about this. And I will go ahead and talk about my next couple of nonfiction reads that I got. And the first one that I got is The Meaning of Mariah Carey by Mariah Carey. And I saw this one. I actually heard someone on Instagram talk about this one and they said they really enjoyed it. And they actually said they really enjoyed the audiobook for this one because I guess Mariah Carey narrates it and some of her music is included in the audiobook. So I really wanted to read this one, and I am going to try to get this one on audiobook. And Mariah Carey is someone that I really like, and I really do think that her life is really fascinating, and I know that she did go through like a really dark period in her life, and I'm really curious to see how in depth she is going to go in regards to that period of time in her life. So I am actually really curious about this novel. The next one that I am really intrigued by, and I had actually saw Jess from Jess Owens read this one, and she's the one that made me pick this one up. And this is Medical Apartheid: The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present by Harriet A. Washington. And this basically talks about how Black people have been experimented on throughout the years, and I don't think you need more explanation than that. So I'm really curious to see what this is about. And I know this is something that I have seen people who have read this said that it has angered them while they were reading it. So I know this is going to be something that is going to take me a while to get through. But nonetheless, I'm interested to get through this one. And then the last one that I had picked up because the cover alone just intrigued me. And this is something that I've heard about. And so I'm really interested to read about it. And that is Sex Cult Nun by Faith Jones. It says, breaking away from the children of God, a wild, radical religious cult. I'm actually somebody that is really interested in cults and what drives people to join cults, how they get out of cults, what happens while they're in the cults. So I am really interested in this. I have actually heard of Children of God. So I am really interested in this. I haven't really heard anyone give a review on this. I've seen several people pick this up, but I am really interested in this one. I do know that Erin from Booked and Busy and Monet, I don't know what Monet's channel is, but I know that they are doing a discussion of this in January. So that was really the reason why I went ahead and picked this one up. So I am really excited to get into this one. So the next few books here are my adult mystery thriller novels. So we'll go ahead and jump into those. And the first couple that I'm going to talk about are all by Miss Karen Slaughter. So far I have read 2 books by Karen Slaughter, and I have enjoyed the 2 books that I have read by her. So I just could not help myself, and I just had to have more of her. So the first one that I went ahead and picked up, and I think this was her newest one, and that is False Witness by Karen Slaughter. Is this her newest one? Yes, it is her newest one. I don't really know too much about it besides that it has to deal with like 2 sisters. So far, out of the 2 books that I have read, she has a thing with sisters, and I'm here for it. So I've heard things about this one. You know, Karen Slaughter is not for everybody. I understand that, but she's for me. I like her books. So, and this is another chunky one. So I'm here for this one. And again, with Karen Slaughter, I actually picked up 2 of her older novels, and I picked them up in mass market paperback because I liked these covers. And this is from, I think she has like an older like series that she did. And now that I'm looking at these, I don't know like which one is the first one and which one is the second one. But I really don't know. But I have Triptych and Fractured, and they both take place in Atlanta, and they have to do with like a detective trying to catch a serial killer in like different scenarios. So again, I just like these covers. I'm excited to actually start this new series. There's several books in this series dealing, I think, with the same detective, I believe. I'm pretty sure. So I went ahead and picked these up, and I'm pretty sure Karen Slaughter is going to be one of those authors that I plan to read everything that this woman writes at this point. Then the next one that I have is Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda, another adult mystery thriller. And this has something to do with this neighborhood where a gruesome murder took place in one of the houses, and now these people in this neighborhood can't seem to sell their houses, and they're trying to figure out what exactly took place. in regards to that murder, that's all that I know. I didn't really read too much on the dust jacket here. I think I saw Kayla from Books and Lala say that she really enjoyed this one. That's what made me pick this one up. So I'm curious to see what I think. I've never read anything by Megan Miranda, so we'll see what I think about this one. This next one, like, I'm really excited about because I've heard nothing but good things about this one, and that is In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Weinstead. And this has to do with a group of friends who is coming back for a college reunion, and one of them has died, and now they're trying to figure out which one of the friends murdered them. And like I said, I've heard nothing but good things about this one, so I'm really excited to read this one. I heard it's a page turner, so I pretty much plan on reading this one sooner rather than later. The next two books, I have actually told myself I was never going to try to read these books. Everybody was trying to read these books before the movie came out. I just absolutely refused. I even told myself that I wasn't even going to watch the movie. But then I watched the movie, and I ended up enjoying the movie. And because I watched the movie, I was like, well, maybe the book will be easier to read. And I'm talking about Dune by Frank Herbert. I said I was never going to pick this up because I just didn't care. I didn't care at all. I am slowly getting into like science fiction, but I just didn't care about this at all. I enjoyed watching everybody's videos and everybody struggling trying to read this book and trying to hurry up and read it before the movie came out, and everybody talking about this and comparing it to the movies. I loved all those videos. I enjoyed myself watching them, but I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not partaking in any of that. And look at me. Look at that. I even picked up the second one, Dune Messiah, because I heard if you can get through the first one, you'll probably enjoy the second one, because the second one is a lot shorter, and the series, at least the second one, is somewhat better than the first one. So I went ahead and picked it up. Now, I will say there's no telling when I will actually get to these. They're not really high up on my priority list, but I am intrigued to read them. I will say I would try to probably read them before the second movie comes out, but that's not even a guarantee. But I at least wanted to have them. These next few books are all just like random adult books, like random adult fantasy and romance books that I wanted to have. So we'll go through these very quickly. So the first one is Jade Legacy by Final Lee. Yes, I have the Illuminati Crate editions, but I also wanted the paperback editions, so because these are actually what I'm reading from and annotating in, so I wanted to go ahead and complete my trilogy. So I did complete my trilogy, and I'm actually really upset about this because this is about an inch or two shorter than my other books, so they don't even match my series. But that's all that I'm gonna say about that. And then these next books are the next three books in the Wayward Children series. So we have In an Absent Dream, Come Tumbling Down, and Across the Green Grass Fields. I honestly don't know what these three in particular are about. I, for the most part, have enjoyed the Wayward Children series so far, but I went ahead and got these three because the seventh book is coming out in the middle of, not in the middle, but in the beginning of January. So I wanted to go ahead and see if I can hurry up and catch up in this series, because like I said, for the most part, I'm enjoying it, and I'm still waiting for that one in this series that is just going to be my absolute just standout favorite. So far, Down Among the Sticks and Bones is my favorite, but out of all the three that I've read so far, I haven't given any of them over a 3 stars. So I'm trying to see if anything is going to get over 3 stars for me, but I'm still intrigued enough to want to keep on with the series, so I went ahead and picked up the next 3. The next one that I picked up is The Fastest Way to Fail by Denise Williams, and she is the one that wrote How to Fail at Flirting, which I read back in like September, I think, which I absolutely loved. I gave that book a 5 stars. And so I, of course, had to pick this one up. And I believe this one is about a girl that ends up falling for her personal trainer. And you know what? I have a feeling that I'm probably going to love this one. I didn't think that I was going to like How to Fail at Flirting as much as I did. Definitely didn't think that I was going to end up giving it 5 stars. So I am pretty sure, well, at least I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy this one just as much as I enjoyed that one. So I'm really curious to see how I'm going to feel about this one. So the next one that I have is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. And this one is about, I believe, like 2 authors that end up reconnecting and pretty much falling in love. I've heard nothing but good things about this one. I have not heard not one bad thing about this book. So that actually makes me nervous to see what I'm going to think about this one. And then a graphic novel that I picked up, I guess you would call it that. Yeah, graphic novel, is V.E. Schwab's Extraordinary. And this is part of the Vengeful series, I guess, in just graphic novel form, maybe. And I really love Vicious. That is one of my all-time favorite books. Vengeful, I thought it was fine, but I was really excited when she came out with this, and the artwork looks stunning if you haven't seen it. And I think that Illuminati Crate has like a special edition of this one, and I think that this is going to be a series of V.E. Schwab, so I went ahead and picked this one up. So I think that I'm probably going to be reading this one pretty soon as well. We are down to the last few books, and these last few books are all going to be my YA fantasy books that I have decided to pick up. So the first one that I picked up, and I honestly don't really know too much about it. I just know that I heard Jashana talk about it, and the way that she described it really made me want to pick it up. And that is And I Darken by Kirsten White. And this is an older series, but when I started looking up reviews, I actually saw pretty good reviews about this one. And this is, like I said, YA historical fiction, even though I think I said this was fantasy. And I think that was a lot of confusion when this came out. I think people thought it was fantasy, but it's more historical fiction, maybe. And I could be completely wrong about that, but I just went ahead and decided to give this one a try. The next one that I picked up that I'm really excited about, that is All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. This was compared to like another version of the Hunger Games, and I love the Hunger Games. And if you pitch something to me like the Hunger Games, to me, you have a lot to live up to. But this is something about a competition where these kids have to fight to the death. I mean, that sounds Hunger Game to me. So all I'll read is The blood moon rises, the blood veil falls, the tournament begins. So I've seen a lot of people pick this up. I haven't really seen a lot of people review it. So curious to see what I'm gonna think about this one. The next one that I have is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen, and this is just gorgeous. Again, this is like one of those ones where I've seen people pick it up, but I haven't seen too many people talk about it. And this is about a girl that's a mermaid who's used to stealing souls, but then a boy falls into the ocean. Instead of stealing his soul, she ends up saving him. And that's all that I know, so I'm curious to see what I think. But I do know that this is a beautiful cover. And the next one that I actually have heard nothing but good things about that, and that is Beasts of Prey by Anya Gray. And I think this one has actually been picked up, I don't know, for like a series or a movie. It's been picked up for something. So I've heard, again, nothing but good things about this one. And all I know, it has something to do with these two characters that are chasing a deadly beast. And they end up having to like work together to chase this, to like hunt this beast, or they end up being hunted. That's all that I know. So I went ahead and picked this one up. And again, excited about this one. So this next one is the second book in a duology, and that is Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, which I actually am planning to pick this one up next. And this is the second book to These Violent Delights. And this is supposed to be part of the like Romeo and Juliet retelling, although it's not really focused so much on the Romeo and Juliet retelling aspect of it. You just have to read it and see. I really enjoyed the first book of the series, but I kind of went into it with the right expectations. I kind of feel like you have to go into this knowing what to expect, because if you are going into it thinking that you are going to get a love story, that is not what that series is about. So I am really looking forward to this. This was actually one of my most anticipated releases at the end of the year. So I am really excited about this. And then my last two books that I want to talk about are from the same author. And that is Sky Hunter and Steel Striker by Marie Lu. And both of these books are just gorgeous. They both have really pretty spines with the title on the spines, and then if you take the dust jacket off, you get the title on hardcover. I think these are like gorgeous. And I'll just read this. It says, in a world broken by war, a team of young warriors is willing to sacrifice everything to save what they love. Again, I haven't heard anything bad about at least this first book in the series. I haven't heard too many people talk about Steel Striker, and I believe this one just recently came out not too long ago. Yeah, Steel Striker just came out, I believe, a couple months ago. But I've heard pretty good things about Sky Hunter, and I have read a couple of series by Marie Lu. In my eyes so far as her book goes, she can't do any wrong. So I'm curious to see what I'm going to think about this duology. But that is finally all the books that I have obtained towards the end of the year. So that is all that I have for you guys today. And we will see how I feel about all of these books. Like I said, I have read a few of them. And if I have already done a review or in some way I've talked about these books, I will definitely leave the links to those videos linked down in my description bar. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.